The much used and often hated upon Shure SE215 monitor headphone. It was maybe about a year ago I saw an Adam Neely video talking about how much he thinks it's important for a band to have a good monitor mix and how much in-ears will really greatly improve the accuracy of your performance live. And I totally agree with everything that he said, except he definitely hated on these headphones maybe a little bit more than I think are warranted for their price point, but that's okay, we're going to get into that later. So oddly enough, my in-ear journey began in the beginning of COVID, really when I stopped performing and began to focus on just making productions at home. At the time, my wife and I were living in an apartment with really high ceilings, and the room that I shot in was our living room, and there was no real acoustic treatment, and it made using my Adam reference speakers nearly impossible, especially for shooting videos, because you have to frame the video, and that's going to be different than the best listening environment for the speakers. So sort of as a splurge, I bought an older wireless Sennheiser transmitting unit and a pair of the Shure SE215s. The SE215 is basically Shure's entry-level in-ear monitor, although there is one that's technically a little bit cheaper. These are single driver monitors, and they are a generic size. They're not like molded to fit your ears or anything like that. The headphones have a detachable system where they kind of click in onto the headphone cable. So if you have some sort of a failure with the cable or the headphone, it is potentially replaceable, which is nice. You get a soft carrying case to help protect your ears going back and forth from your gigs, as well as assortment of different tips to try to figure out the best size for your ear holes. And they also do come with a little cleaning tool. So let's talk about how they sound and how they fit. Obviously, I can't show you what they sound like because they're a set of headphones, but these compared to a set of KRK headphones that I have, just generic, regular old Apple earbuds, the XVIVE T9 dual drivers, and then my Waves 6 drivers. Yeah, especially the top end response of the Shure SE215s is not even nearly as good, but the overall response is very even, I would have to say. So the fact that the frequency response is very flat, you're getting a good representation of the mids, and as a guitar player, that's kind of the most important thing to me. I'm able to really hear my guitar and hear the overall mix in a pretty balanced way. And that was definitely a problem that I had with the XVIVE dual drivers. There's kind of this huge gap in the mids where, as a guitar player, like the guitar was just disappearing. And that definitely wouldn't work for me. I think the strongest thing that these headphones have going for them is that they're very isolating on stage. If you've never worn a pair of headphones that are designed to be like worn and performed, these really do shut out all of the kind of room noise. They're very isolating, which is fantastic for really being able to hear what's going on, especially if you've got like loud drums right behind you. So the thing about the cables that come on with these headphones is at first they're straight. They have no sort of curl, and you have to really kind of break them in and wear them for at least a few hours before they start to get a little bit more comfortable. For the amount of hours that I've worn with these headphones in, which is literally hundreds, they're actually relatively comfortable. When I get the adjustment part on the back just right and have them in there, they're definitely comfortable for a couple hours. On my longer days where I'm teaching, because I wear my in-ears when I teach my virtual lessons, they can start to get a bit uncomfortable by the hour 5 or 6. That's where a custom molded set or just a lighter set, they are a little bit heavier of either an earbud, but also more the cable probably even than that. Of the other in-ears that I have and that I've worn, which is a pair of XVIVE T9s, and then I have a set of Waves 6 drivers that are custom molded. Both the Waves and the XVIVE ones have a much lighter cable. The Shure cable feels very durable, but it is kind of heavy. So again, like wearing them for hours and hours and hours, it can start to get kind of irritating. Now, obviously, if you're a performer, you're going to be on stage maybe for 45 minutes, or maybe you're in like a cover band act or something, or tribute act, you're going to be on stage for 3 hours maybe performing. Maybe by the end of that 3-hour night, they'll start to bother you a little bit and be a little less comfortable. But again, for what they are, for basically $100, the sound isolation is much better than, just your sort of like generic earbuds that are just designed to be, listened to kind of normally, where the cable comes down up front. So the verdict on the 215s is I think they really are a fantastic product at their price point. They aren't perfect at all, and obviously there's better options out there, but they are going to cost more money. After using these ears for 4 years now, logged literally hundreds of hours in them, used them for teaching, practicing, and shooting videos, I can say I do think the durability has been great. Now obviously it's not the same as being on stage and getting like covered in sweat and jumping around and everything, but I haven't had any problems with durability. Strangely enough, the parts where the cable actually touches your body have turned very green through these past 4 years, and then the cable kind of progressively turns clear. I have no idea why that has happened with these. I don't know if they're designed to do that as they kind of break in, but that is kind of a funny thing. I think what these ears are for the price point is a really solid product. The overall frequency response is very flat and very balanced. You're not getting too much lows or too much highs like you might run into if you take like a step up into a dual driver but aren't ready to commit into something like a 6 driver. I think another thing, at only $100, it's not even the worst idea to have a pair of these as a set of backups once you do invest in potentially maybe full custom molded ears or something more like what Waves does, which is kind of somewhere in the middle. Having the Shure 215s just in case your main set of ears goes down is pretty reasonable as well. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it insightful and interesting. If you did, consider giving the channel a like or a subscribe or whatever, or not. Every YouTuber has to beg for support. So thanks again for watching, and rock on.